Welcoming traveler. Get ready to level up in dynasty football.
Is going on, RPG Nation? You are ready for a little week one recap, some of the waiver wire action. It's your boy FF Mike Cash, joined by Evan. Hi, Evan.
How you doing, Mike?
Just fantastic. Every day with you is better than the last.
Appreciate it.
So week one happened. That kind of stunk.
Oh, week one was that was a tough one. You know, you get some big booms and you get some complete duds.
Yeah, imagine hitching your entire dynasty and redraft wagon to J.K. Dobbins. It's I hope he has a speedy recovery, but we got to get into what the waiver wire looks like now that he's gone. So let's start at the top of my latest article for Last Word on Sports. It's the most important waiver wire options for week one. Number one, Justice Hill. After Dobbins went down, Justice Hill took the first snap. It was a goal line snap. He actually took all of the goal line carries for the Ravens offense, which is hilarious because he's 197 pounds and they have Gus Edwards, 240-pound back behind him. But he's looking like he's going to get all the usage, and it looks like it's a great pickup. He's available in most dynasty leagues and in all redraft leagues on ESPN. So worth a shot for sure. Do you think Gus is worth a look, or do you think this is the Hill show?
I think they really just kind of need to figure out what each person's role is going to be in that offense with JK being down. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Munkin deals with the injury and how he moves forward. But yeah, I think Gus would be worth a look.
Yeah, he's done really well in the past, and he's been the bell cow for them before, but he's also coming off an injury of his own, and we'll just have to see how that backfield shakes out, and maybe we'll get a Kareem Hunt or a Leonard Fournette sighting. Moving down the list of running backs, as we all expected this offseason, Cam Akers is the backup running back in Los Angeles, and Kyren Williams is the one that looks better in every way. Kyren Williams took the majority of the snaps, scored multiple touchdowns, and was the focal point of the offense when compared to Cam Akers. So it's a low-volume offense, but Williams has some serious flex appeal moving forward. You think it's going to continue to be this way, or do you think Cam Akers steals the show back?
I mean, we shall see. Everybody hopes Cam Akers steals the show back, but looking at the game script, they got ahead and they just manhandled the Seahawks. So I think it put them in a very positive game script for running the ball. So we'll see some positive or some negative regression on that, moving in the direction of passing the ball more often.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. As we talk about the Rams passing attack, it looks like they have seriously upgraded from Cooper Kupp to, what's his name? Puka na Cooper Kupp. This is just Cooper Kupp Jr. apparently. Matt Stafford loves to throw to his slot receivers, and Puka got over 10 targets. He got over 100 yards. I was fading him all offseason because I thought draft capital mattered, but nobody told Puka Nacua that. So I think he's worth an ad in all formats. If he's sitting on your dynasty waiver wires, go pick him up, go blow all of your fab on him, because dynasty benches are deep and you're not going to miss anything else. So I'm all in on Puka. I refuse to let Tutu Atwell be a thing, unless you want to hit on Tutu a little bit.
What do you have against Tutu, other than the fact that he is incredibly small, like somebody that would typically wear a tutu?
Yeah, I just personally want my receivers able to ride all the rides at Disney World or be incredibly special athletes, and I just don't think Tutu is a special athlete. I think he got lucky with some targets this week. I just don't see the long-term value. If there's somebody in your league that gets really hot and bothered for him, like try and sell him for a 2, do a 2-3 swap, something like that.
You know, the one guy that was very disappointing was Koronic.
Yeah.
You think he's going to do something and then does nothing.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson, who just drops touchdown passes. So.
Yeah, shout out to Van Jefferson, the incumbent wide receiver too, who for some reason just is no longer part of the offense. really not the vibe. As we move on over to everybody's least favorite position, you want to talk about tight ends, or you want to talk about some more redraft wide receivers?
I mean, sure, why not tight ends?
All right. So in redraft, dynasties, he's definitely going to be on somebody's roster, but Hayden Hurst went undrafted in 95.2% of ESPN leagues. Look, Bryce Young loves to target him. The receivers suck. He's probably not going to finish as a top 5 or even like a top 10 option at the season end, but he's going to have some spike weeks, and he's going to have enough of a floor that he's not going to kill you like Dallas Goedert did this week. So week 1 was rough.
All the major tight ends that you thought were going to hit, just absolute duds of weeks. Week 1 was the no-name tight end week.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I took a tight end early so I wouldn't have to worry about streaming. I look at all of my rosters with Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews. Even like Darren Waller was questionable going into Sunday night, so you had to pick somebody up and play him in the hopes that you didn't get goose-egged. So not great. You know who I'm really excited to talk about? Donald Parham Jr. He's back, baby. He's back. The Cinderella story, neck injury, carted off the field, looked like he was going to have some serious problems for the rest of his life. Now he is the most targeted player in the red zone for the Chargers, or pretty dang close to it. So he's 6'8", in case you didn't know. So he's a monster in Madden and in real life. There's not much else to say. Like, tight ends all suck. I was on the Everett train all offseason. I was super on board with it just because I wanted the guy that was catching passes from Justin Herbert in the red zone. Turns out it's Donald Parham. So quick pivot, go get you some Parham. He is available in 99.9% of leagues on ESPN, and I'm going to say 98.5% of dynasty leagues on Sleeper. So he's available. Go get you some Parham. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at tight ends outside of the top 10, 11 guys, you're just hoping for whoever you pick up to stream to fall in for a touchdown. And if Parham's getting the red zone targets, then he has a chance to fall in for a touchdown.
Yeah, I would love for him to have the what's the Saints tight end right now? Jimmy Graham. Have the Jimmy Graham stat line of 3 catches for 2 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's the dream. Yes, I know that math doesn't work, but I'm all aboard. Redraft. Look, if you listen to the show, you're a dynasty nut like us. You already know these names, but for some reason, Rashee Rice is available in 91% of leagues on ESPN. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm probably not throwing it to Sky Moore. Probably not throwing it to Kadarius Toney. MVS is going to still be MVS. So Rashee Rice looks like the only usable wide receiver in that offense. So go pick him up. Thoughts on Rice? Is this a flash in the pan, or is it just a touchdown spike, or do you think he earns more and more of a role as the season goes on?
I think Andy likes players that he trusts. I think Mahomes likes players that he trusts to catch the ball. And, it's definitely not the other two you mentioned.
You know what's crazy with Rice is that the reason that he got drafted in the second round is because Patrick Mahomes brought a bunch of receivers down from the draft, Rice included. And he was like, get me that one, and pointed at Rice. So if Mahomes wants him and he's going to target him, same deal as the Herbert thing. Like, I just want the guy catching passes from a top 3 quarterback. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that hard, but we make it hard anyway. You want to talk about defenses? I know that we don't play in a lot of defense leagues, but look, my work league has a defense. My family league has a defense. Those are somehow 2 of my hardest leagues because Uncle Steve is unstoppable. But the Giants play the Arizona Cardinals next week. Do I need to say more? Or?
I mean, is the Giants defense any good?
Is the Giants offense any good?
I'm trying. Both of those questions, maybe no.
Yeah. I think that the Giants defense or the entire Giants team is ready for a bounce back week. And is there anything scarier than an angry Kayvon Thibodeau playing the Arizona Cardinals? Like, I think that this could be a huge bounce back game for them. unless you think differently.
No, yeah, I think that definitely could be a bounce back game.
Fingers crossed. Let's see. 1 quarterback leagues. The Green Bay Packers keep doing it. If they have another Hall of Fame quarterback, I'm going to scream. But I think Jordan Love is on the streaming radar. He plays the Atlanta Falcons next week. The Atlanta Falcons, they got 2 picks against Bryce Young. They made him look a little rattled in his rookie debut. The Packers' offensive line is not the Panthers' offensive line. I'd like to think that it's at least a little better. So with the Falcons' 32nd ranked pass rush last year, Jordan Love might be in for another favorable matchup and another big game. You think he's worth a look?
I don't know. I kind of think that defense is one on the upswing personally.
I don't think did they add a pass rusher worth naming?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So I don't know how they looked better. Or maybe this is like an indictment on the Panthers organization. Like those receivers could not separate. So hopefully they get Christian Watson back. Hopefully the Packers continue on their upswing. And hopefully Jordan Love doesn't terrorize the NFC North for the next 20 years like the last 2 quarterbacks did. Anybody else that you want to point out as a waiver wire addition, whether in a deep league? Let me scroll through the sleeper trending real quick, see if there's any sexy names while you think. Ooh, you want to talk about Kendrick Bourne?
Kendrick Bourne?
Sell me on him.
Against my Eagles this past week.
You watch the game. Tell me if he's good or not. He's the wide receiver 4 this week right now.
It definitely seemed like a decent amount of blown coverages, a decent amount of zone that he just absolutely ate up. Definitely a passing game script with them being behind very early. So they were throwing the ball a ton. It was on Mac's shoulders to be able to win that game. And he said, all right, I'm just going to sling it and see what happens. And they put in a valiant effort, came back a good bit. Thankfully, the Eagles held on for my sanity and making sure that our group didn't go 0-4 with our favorite teams this week, because that would have been absolutely brutal. But somebody's got to get the targets in that offense. Mac Jones actually has a real offensive coordinator this year, which obviously is making a difference because he looks like a completely different quarterback, in my opinion. And somebody's got to get it. He had double-digit targets, so why can't it be that way going forward?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And I was looking through and I was trying to be like, oh, he has a tough matchup next week. Guess who the Patriots play? The Miami Dolphins. So all those things you talked about, negative game script, not a great defense, the opportunity to sling the ball around. It sounds like Kendrick Bourne might be a thing, which is just unfortunate because I don't own any Kendrick Bourne other than a best ball in RPG Demons. But I think, let me give it one more little look. Oh, Tyler Algier, he's still a thing. He's on every dynasty roster in the entire world. If he's on your redraft teams, grab him for good matchups. I don't know. He plays Green Bay next week, so not a great run matchup, but we'll see how it pans out. Josh Kelly still exists. Jacoby Myers looked awesome until he got hurt. Rashid Shaheed is still a deep threat. All of these guys are probably on rosters already, other than Rashid Shaheed, who should probably stay off of rosters for redraft. But anyway, anything else you want to say to the people at home about waiver wires in week 1?
Don't burn all your fab right away. Make sure to hold some fab in reserve. Don't just empty the clip week 1. That inevitably comes back to bite you.
That checks out. And I'm still going to spend all of it on Justice Hill anyway, and then they'll sign. They're going to sign Kareem Hunt the moment that waivers clear on Wednesday. But this was the first week of your waiver wire options for week 1. Thanks for tuning in. And this episode was brought to you by Dubby. Use code FFRPG at checkout. They have cool stickers, if nothing else. I still drink them during meetings, and it makes me not want to kill everyone around me. So if you need caffeine to survive your day, go for some Dubby. Thanks again, guys. See ya.